Welcome to the American Short Story, Lesson 5, Modernism. In this lesson, we'll take a look at the changes taking place in America and their influence on American short story writers during the first half of the 20th century. During the modernist movement, roughly between 1901 and 1939, industrialism boomed and transformed America, with Charles Darwin's Origin of the Species alongside Karl Marx's philosophical teachings. The survival of the fittest American perspective took off. Sigmund Freud and Carl Jung allowed us to take a good look at the inner workings of the human mind. Einstein's relativity theory, automobiles, telephones, cameras, typewriters, jazz, the prohibition, speakeasies, nightclubs, cocktails, and electric lights. America rolled into the roaring 20s, the bob haircut, the big boom, and the Harlem Renaissance. Writing changed further amid World War I, the Depression, economic instability, gender and racial inequality, and short story writers allowed themselves to take an honest look at their own fallibility and the chaos of the world around them. Short story writers experimented with themes such as loss, loneliness, isolation, death, exile, and self-questioning. These shifts in the American short story marked the literary movement known as Modernism. Modernist writers were marked for their radical break from the past. Some of the characteristics of modernism are more liberal dealing with structure and style, straying from formality and taking chances on stream of consciousness writing, heavier use of symbolism, loss of faith in God and the government, and fading beliefs. Writers were not afraid to write from within, and the modernist writers have been regarded as self-conscious writers. Narrators are wholly involved, emotive, and psychologically expressive in the story now, versus the objective third-person storytellers of the Romantic and Realist eras. We almost get to know them in all their devastation and angst, and sometimes in their hopes for change. Other major characteristics of modernist short stories are chaos and destruction as themes. Writers saw the destruction that humans are capable of during World War I. Changing gender and racial roles. Women were now entering the workforce as men went off to war. Traditional household composition and gender roles started to disintegrate. So too did the African American experience post-abolition. With the Harlem Renaissance and a new appreciation of African folklore, art, rituals, and the emergence of jazz music, art and literature finally included the African American experience. And fragmented form. Modernist writers stray from conventional form, apply unconventional syntax and structure, a crumbling environment, disjointed narrative, and a nonlinear plot. Some American modernist short story writers include William Faulkner, Langston Hughes, Richard Wright, Edith Wharton, Eudora Welty, and Willa Cather.